I'm Brenda.
And I'm Kristi. We're two friends from high school who are connecting and reconnecting over music and memories.
Welcome to Normal Bias Podcast.
We're glad you're here.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Kristi. Hey, y'all.
I feel like I beat you to that punch.
Okay.
Did I throw off the rhythm? Because I was like, oh, wait, no, Brenda says good morning. Sorry.
No, I think it doesn't matter. Good morning. Yeah. Do you see my... Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Normal Bias Podcast. Yeah. I don't know why. Why do we feel like we're out of...
I think because we literally took a break.
We did take a break.
And then we recorded, like last week did we record 2 or 3 last week?
I think we recorded 2.
We recorded 3 times because we re-recorded the intro for the Orange You Sad episode that we aired last week.
That's right.
Recorded with David, your friend, who I think everybody is half in love with now. Sorry, it's Christina's wife?
Caroline.
Sorry, Caroline. And then we recorded the episode that will air this Friday with your friend Alicia and her friend Trio, who are just going to knock everybody's socks off.
I mean, seriously, they are.
They're the best. I'm like,
I cannot wait to talk to them again.
Yeah, I'm a little stalkerish because I went and followed immediately, like we got off that we quit recording, and I followed them on Instagram like it's a fangirl. Like,
yeah,
that's me.
I get. That's why I love you. That's me too.
And so we saw each other twice in real life last week, which is like a record for us.
It really is, and it's so exciting.
So it was
fun.
I know. It was really good. Brenda had a vacation.
I had a vacation. It was amazing.
Tell him.
Best 24 hours. Yes, I went and stayed with a friend at the Wander Inn. If you guys know the Junk Gypsies, follow them and their hotel on Instagram. It is all of the things. I could talk about it seriously for a couple hours because I saw stars at night there. It's just quiet, and the decor, the things that those girls do is amazing. How they can just make things old seem new, and color and texture and all of the things, and there's just the little details that they have there, and I can't wait to go back. Seriously.
Well, I'm going to back up a little bit because you actually just gave me a really good idea for another episode. Is like to talk about rest, because
yes,
part of what triggered that, not that I'm taking any credit for it because this was all you, but you came up to record our new video stuff that we did, and we met out in Round Top at Royers Pie Haven, and that was as much as you have appreciated them and followed, and like Tara and all of that. You had not actually been to the Pie Haven. You had not actually been to Round Top proper.
Never.
And
like ever.
And so the Pie Haven closes early on Sunday. So we got pie and we sat and enjoyed our pie. And Brenda, you kind of fangirled there. I'm pretty sure you took pictures, and that's okay.
I totally took pictures. I took video. I bought her book. I was so excited she signed it. Thank you, Tara. Yes.
And then we were sitting on the, like, next door, there's it says Ellis Hotel, but it's actually a bar. And so because we had the kids, we sat on the porch for a while and visited with one of the guys there. And you said, while we were sitting there, you said, like, you visibly went, you said, now it's like summer.
It did. It felt like the first day of summer, like a normal, I worked the whole school year, we're out for summer, like it did. And everything there was just, being from the city, going to the country. I don't know if that's the country, but
it's totally country. Right? There's 90 people in Round Top.
Yeah, 90. I took a picture of that. But it just was so, like, my body just said, okay, put the shoulders down, sit back in this chair and relax. And it just was amazing. Like 3-hour vacation.
It was awesome.
It was so awesome. I'm so glad you guys, planned that and suggested that because then that was Sunday and then Thursday I went back and spent the night. And that too, one night,
Uh-huh.
and it was the best. And Tracy and I sat and we they have books everywhere. There's no TVs in there. Did you know that? I didn't even realize there wasn't TV in the whole property until the lady that was there caring for the property, Sandy, who's I love this woman. I want to have her on the podcast because she was just so sweet, so nice. Just the hospitality just was, above and beyond. But I lost my train of thought. Dang it.
Well, there's no TVs on the property. You guys.
Oh yeah. So there's no TVs, but there's books and there's record players. Like you can play vinyl records, which we didn't do that, which I should have done that. But so we found these volume 1 and 2. Everyone write this down because this is going to be like the present I give to people. So El Arroyo.
I knew exactly what you were going to say, and I didn't even know they had them.
Yes, El Arroyo. Mm-hmm. It's ELARRYO, and actually an arroyo is kind of like a ditch or like water. In Spanish. There's a Mexican restaurant in Austin, Texas, and they have a marquee where they literally like switch out the letters, like old school marquee. And you've probably seen these on Instagram, on Facebook, because they are, I'm about to cuss, hella funny, like funny. Okay. And so there was volume 1 and 2. We sat on the rocking chairs on the back porch of our place, and she read out loud some of those. And I'm not kidding you. I couldn't catch my breath. I'm pretty sure I laughed so hard it ran down my leg, and I cried until so just that, talk about, that's a nice segue into little things that we want to talk about.
I don't know now, but I'm tempted to be like that lady and yell across the house and say, Casey, I think there's a volume 3 now, y'all.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And so if you live in Houston, Renovate Houston sells those. You can get them online. And so have you been to El Arroyo, the restaurant?
I have been to El Arroyo, the restaurant. So Kevin, my ex-husband was in law school there. And so right around the time we were getting married, it was his first year of law school at UT. And so we lived in Austin for like 2.5 years. And so, yes, so I was lucky to eat at El Arroyo original. And then, they had a fire and then they rebuilt. So I've been back since they rebuilt. But so, yeah, so just for 24 hours, she and I escaped, and that's all we needed. And it was so fun and so awesome to just feel normal, quote unquote, and feel like it was summer and a treat. And it was so good. And so, yeah, so that was our entertainment. We didn't have TV, and I didn't even notice that until, the next day when Sandy came back and said, "How was y'all's night, girls?" And she brought us our biscuits with jelly, best biscuit ever. Little things. And so El Arroyo has books, and you need them in your life, and someone else needs them in their life. Like, hilarious.
I think it is a great gift. You're totally right.
So
and they have, did they have the big ones or the little ones? Because they have little ones.
So the one that we they had there was probably like an 8x10 size, I think. Yeah. So we did. And one of the ones I posted it as my on Facebook was, "Is your refrigerator running? Because I might vote for it."
I saw that.
So just things like that, like just hilarious. Whoever the person is, and they're probably married, dang it. But anyway, whoever is the person behind that wit and that humor, and maybe it's a collection of people. Anyway, I find humor like that, that's so witty, like so attractive.
Maybe we need to find somebody like a 30 Rock situation or something. We need to find you a comedy writer.
Yes, please. I am Fallon. Yes, these are the people that I have a type. Jimmy Fallon, Adam Sandler. I mean, even comedic actors, like we were just talking about Parks and Rec, like Adam Scott, like, yeah. Dorky and funny. This is what I like. So if you're dorky and funny and single
and cute, you have to
and
be like
and
them.
cute
You have to
and
fit.
cute. Sorry, a little bit cute. Yeah, single brown girl looking for.
Funny, dorky guy.
Yeah,
You're not color specific. We're good. Like just funny. Be funny, dude.
just be funny. Be
Gosh,
funny.
someone right now, like the 4 people who watch, one of y'all has a brother, and you're like, I wonder how old Brenda is. She's 47.
I'm 47.
She could pass for a good 37 if you don't meet your, well, like you could even pass for younger if they don't meet your giant boys.
It's true. Yeah, most of the people at work, when I say how old I am, they're like, "What?" So yeah, I get 35 a lot.
I go
Definitely,
lower.
yeah. The kids always. So I have that picture I told you that from my high school hanging or out in my window for them to see, and they're like, "Miss Parks, is that you?" And I'm like, "Yes." And they're like, well, "How old are you?" And then I make them do math. Like, okay, figure out this math problem. And so then when the other jaws drop, it's fun.
I love kids.
I do too.
Okay, so this and once again, I'm not even looking at the clock. I have no idea how long I'm talking.
I don't know.
So our goal today was to record 2 short episodes because we had topics that kind of segued into one into the other. And so, but then we got off topic when we got on our Zoom call and we started talking, but we somehow managed to circle back in full circle and pick up on a topic that fits our topic, but wasn't at all what we were going to talk about today. So Brenda, you're drinking coffee out of a Yeti cup.
I am drinking coffee out of a Yeti cup. I think this is a 20-ounce Yeti cup. And it's solely for coffee because, once you start making coffee in the Yeti, it starts to have that smell, like you can't get it out. So yes, I'm drinking coffee out of my favorite Yeti, my stickers, and people on YouTube can see it. But even though it's 20 ounces, I only fill it up 6 ounces because I have figured out that I drink daily 5 ounces of coffee. Yes. And that's it. That's all I drink. So and I put it in the Yeti because it keeps it hot. Because at work, well, it gets so busy, sometimes I'll make it. And by the time I get back to it, I'm like, dang, got to go put it in the microwave.
So, but you use a Keurig and you make it, like you don't just pour it in the Yeti, you make it in your Yeti.
I make it in my Yeti, yes.
So, but what we talked about was there was a whole journey.
Yes.
And this is a good like opener for what we're talking about. Is so you have built the habit of making the coffee in the Yeti, but where'd you start?
Okay. So yeah, so I'm going to use one of Kristi's favorite words. So yes, it's down to a science, you guys. Hey, you're welcome.
30.
Yeah. So at work, so I don't have my own, well now I do, but I don't have at home a coffee pot or a Keurig. There's one at work. So I keep my Yeti at work and I make a cup of coffee at work, which I hadn't thought about this. And this is one of those things that came out during quarantine is I typically will just, make the cup. So I think a cup of coffee on the Keurig that we have at work is probably 8 ounces of coffee. So we go off for spring break and then we're in quarantine. I don't have a coffee pot. So my sweet nurse at school, Julie, said I have an extra coffee pot you can borrow while we're on quarantine. I was like, awesome. So I borrow it and I go buy the Folgers, coffee. And so I make a pot. I started with like 4 cups, and then I was only drinking maybe 1, or I tried to pour 2 because I made too much, right? So I tried to drink it so I don't waste it. Well, I did that for probably for a month, and I was just throwing pots of coffee away. And so I text Julie and I was like, Julie, I'm just going to give you your pot back. I'm like, I appreciate it. I'm glad to have coffee, but I'm wasting it. So then I didn't tell you this. I bought the little instant coffee. I know, gasp. Okay, I did though, because I like to have a drink of coffee in the morning. So I tried that. Then we went back to work at the end of May, beginning of June, where I was actually in school. And I told the girls, or our registrar, and I don't remember who else was there. I was like, I'm going to take our work Keurig home. Is that okay? Just so I have it, because I don't really use a pot. So long story short, our registrar said, I have an extra Keurig. You can have it. I was like, you do? Awesome. So I brought it home, and that's what I've been using. I have my own Keurig now. I feel like a big girl. But even that, I brought it home. And so the beginning of June, I start making coffee, and I'm making the 8-ounce cup. I'm like, started noticing that I was leaving a good couple swallows down in the bottom of that and throwing it away. And I was like, dang, I'm throwing coffee away again. So I bumped it down to 6 ounces, and I'm pretty much I can drink that, but I still leave some in the bottom. So I am in between 4 and 5 ounces, or between 4 and 6 ounces of coffee I drink a day. There you go. I figured out how much coffee I drink, how much I need, and I try to just make that.
But see, so that leads brilliantly into what we were going to talk about today. We were going to have a quick talk today. Quick is not working out for us, but we were going to have a quick talk today about little habits that we have that either save time or create time or save brain space or alleviate stress. And to me, that is such a great example, because think about whether you were aware of it or not, on some level, every day making coffee was adding some sort of, like, you had to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And if, like, you don't have to, I have a feeling next week when we talk, you're gonna be like, all right, look, I bumped it down to the 4 ounces. I drink all of it. I'm fine. Like, there's no waste. Like, that will totally take out that last little bit of stress for you.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like I should try the 4 ounce. I thought about doing that today, but I really think that it will be, I don't know, not enough. I really think I'm in that in between. We'll see.
But that's a little bit of tension's okay. But we were talking about, like, little habits that we have, like, one of my things, like, in my agenda every day, I write, like, I literally plan every day for 15 minutes. I do, like, I clean or straighten or weed or do something that would normally be a big job if I saved it, but I just do a little bit at a time to kind of chip away at it. Because then theoretically the weeding doesn't get out of hand. Like, our house gets dusty, but I'll take 15 minutes and do the high stuff and do, like, one area at a time instead of, because I do, like, there are times, very rarely, that I'll take like a day and do a deep clean, but I like to do that when nobody's here, and everybody's always here. Yes, I know. So
Hey, will you come to my house and do the high stuff?
Sure. You can, if you'll do my baseboards, for sure. And then,
yeah, heck yeah, we can trade.
These old doors that have, like, like the sections instead of, like, where the sections, and it's just ugh. But so we were talking about habits, and we were talking about, so Brenda, you have a habit at night? How do you go to bed with your house? Maybe it's not at night, maybe it's all the time. When do you do that?
No, I do. Okay. It is a habit. So I am one, I set my alarm, and then I go around and check all the doors, make sure they're locked.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I do that, I kind of do like a circle around, and I just look around and make sure everything is picked up. the kitchen is big because I know that I'm going to have to come in here and do make breakfast or whatever. So I like to make sure that the kitchen's prepped, ready to go. Yeah. But and then if there's, something to be put away as I'm going around, then I'll take it and put it away. But yeah, because and I don't know if this is part of kind of the OCD part, but like I can't lay down in my bed and be relaxed unless I've checked the door locks and have gone around and make sure. Like I just have that uneasy feeling if I know something is out of place or I haven't checked it.
But I think a lot of us have habits like that, and we just don't realize that we have habits. Mm-hmm. But I think like the context I wanted to talk about this in is I guess what brings it to mind is I'm working with somebody who has seems to have no self-awareness, right? Mm-hmm. And little things with this person have made me think, like, how many things do we do that we don't even think about? And like, we do things to help ourselves that we don't think about, and then we do things that hurt ourselves that we don't even think about. And so I think that's the whole thing, is like taking a look at yourself as you go through the day. And I think about, of course, now that we're sitting here, I don't have a good example, but I'm like, what's the thing that every time you see it, it drives you freaking, for me, it's mail. This is a big one for me. We don't get a lot of mail. We get a lot of junk mail. We don't get a lot of like actual mail. And it drives me crazy when someone checks the mail, walks in and drops it on the dining room table. I'm like, because it's junk. So tear it down, recycle it, like just process it. And then the stuff that's bills, we have a place that we put that to file it immediately. So like my whole thing is just handle it one time. Don't even lay it down. Like just put it where it goes, because it irritates me so much the next day to come and find the pile of the day before's mail. Or also, I'm judgy. If I come to your house and we have family members who literally have counters and dining room tables full of stacks of mail.
Yeah, I'm not that. Like, yeah. So, and this is one of those things, mail is one of those things that I don't even think about. So I check the mail, and I'm a everyday check the mailer. Like, I know I have some friends who, my mailbox is in front of my house. Some of the subdivisions or neighborhoods, even in and with my neighborhood, either have it in front of your mailbox, just a single, some are the double, and then some have the box where you have to walk and take your key. That's how my mom has. So people with the walk and take the key, I can see where you may not go every day and let it go a little bit. But I check it every day, and then I walk in, and as I'm walking, I'm kind of like already sorting it in my hand. So, the junk is about to go in the recycle, and then, the other stuff is what's going to come in with me. But even so, Alex has been getting stuff for college. So I made a basket where I just toss that in, and then the bills. I mean, most of my bills are now paperless. I still have a good 2 or 3 that I get paper. And I open those up, toss or recycle the, envelope or whatever, and that's it. And then I go stick the bill in my stack by my calendar. And that's something I don't even think about. Like, I do immediately. And yeah, you probably, I don't know a time you would come and find mail just sitting somewhere.
So I think like we probably all have little habits and little routines and things like that we do. And if mail is not your thing and it doesn't bother you to have it in a file, that's fine. But I bet there's something that you do that you kind of like, you don't even realize you're kind of clearing the path for a smooth day. And there's science behind our habits and like energy. Like, this is why people like Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg, like, they wear the same outfit all the time. May he rest in peace, Steve Jobs. Mm-hmm. They wear the same outfit all the time. One of the reasons is that they didn't have to use or don't have to use bandwidth to think about it, right? That's one less decision they have to make. And there's science behind, if you can cut down the number of decisions you make in a day, because we all reach decision fatigue. But some of us reach that before we even leave out the door for work. By the time you figure out, well, like, if you don't have a set time to wake up, if you're like, well, do I wake up now? Do I want to wake up now? Do I want coffee this morning? What am I going to wear? What shoes am I going to wear? What socks am I going to wear? What are my kids going to wear? Like you don't realize how much you're making decisions. And if you build habits, you can cut down on that decision making and save your energy really for the things that matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's fascinating to me. Like this is something I've read a lot about habits. So if you want some super nerdy books, I'm your girl. That I we'll put some in the blog, but this is something that's fascinating to me. Like I get really excited talking about habits.
No, it's cool. And so I've always thought, so there's a number, and I'm going to ask you because you read and you might know it. It maybe it's changed, but most of the things that I've ever read, it's like 21 days. If you repet to change a habit. I've seen 13 here lately and 14, but I definitely think 21. And then some things that you do, like so much. I'm going to use this for an example. So in 2008, so in third grade, I got glasses. I've had horrible vision, and so in 2008, I got LASIK, and amazing. Just do it. Don't think about. That's one of those. Don't think about it. However you can figure it out. Like it's worth every penny. It's amazing and a miracle. I was -8 in each eye, and now I can see, although I need readers. But after I got LASIK, for probably 6 months to a year, I was still pushing up my glasses. I was still like grabbing for my glasses on the nightstand. Like I did that so many times, like it was just automatic, and I would feel like a big dork because I was like, oh, I'm not wearing glasses anymore. Like, why am I pushing them up or reaching for them on the nightstand? And so that's kind of crazy, when you decide that you're going to change your habit or you want to do something differently, maybe it's, move this stuff from this drawer to that drawer, but you're going to constantly, because you don't think about it. Oh my gosh, see, there's your science. I just don't think about it being science, but you reach for it, not thinking about it, because that's what you've done. That's what a habit is, duh, right, Brenda? So until that 21 days or whatever the magic number is that they've come up with, you just keep doing that.
I've heard 21 a lot. I've heard 21 even from like early like behavior studying and
but I always hear 21 too, but
yeah, and I think that's a good safe bet. And there's science behind it too. Like James and I were talking about this today. Like if you have a young child or a child that doesn't love different kinds of food, you might have to present carrots to him 21 different times before he tries a carrot or before he appreciates carrots or whatever, or realizes he really, whatever it is. But the point is we have to keep presenting it. We have to keep doing it. So 21, I think 21 is a safe thing. And that's like that's how long it takes. Like if you're going to start a workout program, all the science says don't go whole hog. Like if you want to lose weight, don't say tomorrow I'm going to wake up, I'm going to work out for an hour, I'm going to drink only water, I'm going to have a shake for breakfast, I'm not going to do this. Like if you try to wake up tomorrow and do all these things, you're going to fail, right? Because you're going to not wake up in time to get to the gym, and then you're going to feel like a failure, and then you're going to be like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and have my Starbucks or whatever. But your brain will sabotage you because it wants to get back in the rut that it's in. So that's what scientists say. And behavior people say, like, to build your body will get in a rut with your muscle memory and your habits and stuff. So make the rut a healthy one. So in times of stress, your body makes good choices for you. And there's a whole, what you can do with that is kind of turn it on its side and think about your kitchen. I don't know about y'all, but I spend a lot of time in the kitchen, even though I don't seem to really cook very much. But I'm always in there. And if you look at your dishwasher, right? And the things that we put in the dishwasher the most are the cups, the glasses, the coffee cups, that kind of stuff. If your dishwasher is there and all of your pots and pans and stuff are there, and then you have to walk all the way across the kitchen to put away your plates and your glasses and stuff like that, how much time are you using each time you unload the dishwasher, right? So a tweak of just switching cabinets would save you time and effort. Like that. Like we don't think about what we do and have the, I guess maybe that's the point is like when you, like, if you, like, there's a Gretchen Rubin book that I'll put on our website. And the whole point is to look at a little bit at a time. Like, you can't change your whole life in a day.
Mm-mm.
But there's another great book called The Slight Edge. It's a little bit of a brainier read, but it's a fabulous book.
Is Gretchen Rubin, she the Happy Project?
She is.
Okay, yay. Yeah, I follow her on Instagram. I really like her.
I'm trying to think.
She has Happy Project, and then there's one after that I started reading.
Well, she's got Happiness at Home. She has a habits book. I'm trying to think of the name.
But I do like, she breaks it down like by the month, like for 1 month, and I can't even think of examples, but for 1 month you're going to do this. And I think that's the Happiness Project. And so she's trying to like get you to do things where you feel joy and happiness, like, but it's like, I love that when I read it because it was doable.
Exactly.
For 1 month you're going to do these 2 things.
Okay.
And then you build.
A good gateway book for Gretchen Rubin people is Outer Order, Intercom, and I'll put this on there. Because she takes a lot of her research and she puts like one little piece of information on a page per day. And so it'll be like, this is the theory, and here's a little actionable thing you can do. So you could read it like a devotional, you could read it all at once, but it's a good, that's when I do organization talks, I'll give the copy of that away. Because I love that it's a good, like, if you're a big nerd like me and you sit in this stuff, then okay, yeah, read a big book about it or go research deep. But if you're just thinking about it and you're like, I hadn't really thought about it before, do something super light, like follow Gretchen Rubin on Instagram, or gosh, there's so many good people like Courtney Carver.
I love Courtney Carver. You introduced me to her, and I love her. Courtney Carver has a book, Soulful Simplicity, and she's also on Instagram, and I follow her, Be More with Less. She has her thing is 33. 33, I think, is the number of clothes or items in her wardrobe. So anything more than that, like, you just don't need. So that I really want to try. I would try that. I thought about trying it this summer, but we'll see later. Maybe, I don't know. But
you're thinking about Project 333, and
333.
She just but the 33 is the number. The 3 is something else. But but she just released that book during quarantine.
Oh, awesome! I need to read that.
Yeah, so that's and there are tons of books about capsule wardrobes and about why, and like some people talk about it from the perspective of you can have like really quality stuff and have less stuff. Some people talk about it like you just don't have to think about it. I accidentally made a capsule wardrobe when I lost weight, and then part of it is that, and then I'm cheap, so I don't like to replace things. But I have outfits that I wear, and I tend to just replace like that piece. Like I have one certain chambray shirt that I wear. And so I'll just replace, like I'm on my second one. I need a third one because I got super glue on it.
Dang it.
So, but it's fun. Like I have to wait for it to come on sale, but like, so little things like that. But yeah, there's so much. Like this to me is just, I'd love to look at like when you like
the whys.
Yeah, the why, and then also the just like when you go in to organize someone, and I obviously am not a professional organizer like you, but I do go in and work with people and help people. And one of the things that drives me nuts as a behavior person is that so much people, I don't know about you, but we grew up cleaning house on the weekends. Like we had to clean every day, but we also clean on Saturday. And I have so many friends that are like, I have to spend the whole weekend cleaning and shopping and laundry and all the things. And I'm like, but if you just spent 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, and I don't commute anymore. I don't work outside the house. So I can't, it's different for me to say that. But these are things that I did even when I worked like 12-hour days, even when I worked 16-hour days and commuted to Houston. Even like for me, it's worth it to constantly do a little bit, so then my time can be my time.
Yes.
And you might have reasons.
Yeah, for anyone out there who hasn't heard of Fly Lady,
Mm,
Fly Lady breaks it down like that. 15 minutes on, I think hers is 15 minutes. Like she breaks down like, each day is something different, but you just take 15 minutes. And you definitely, if you, build a system, it definitely is those little things that just, you know, it saves you time to do other things. Back to the stacks of mail really quickly. That I've said this quote on here before, but they say that clutter is just postponed decisions, and so those stacks, oh, you don't know what to do with it, so you're going to leave that stack there, and then your stacks build, and so you don't have a place for it, obviously. So that's why it stacks up, or you need to show this to your husband or your wife, or but you just don't go back to it, so you just keep making a pile of new piles. And so if you create a habit, or if you find a place or a system, then hopefully the stacks disappear, and then you have your counter back, or you have your table back. I
yeah,
don't know.
or whatever it is, but just try to,
Mhm.
also, I think the thing too, like, because one of, like, I want my house, I want my life, I want my heart, I want everything to feel good. I'm very, and if that makes me shallow, I'm okay with that. But to me, and one of the things that if you're not wired this way, it's hard to understand what I'm about to say, and I'm okay with that. It makes me sound crazy. Every time, like for me, a trip, like my hand is on my dresser right now. That is our dresser. This is our bedroom, and I break a cardinal rule because I work in our bedroom. You're not supposed to work in your bedroom. So I have, like, I face this way, but I can still see the dresser when I'm working. So it stresses me out when there's stuff on the dresser that doesn't go on the dresser, because when I sit down to work, I end the day and start the day with a clean desk and a clean space. Um, but for me, that is such a stressful thing, because it's not what if, like, my husband, he's fine with a pile there. But for me, every time I walk by that pile, like, it makes me think he hasn't processed that yet, or he hasn't made that decision, or like, why is it still sitting there? Like, it's a constant source of like sandpaper. Whereas I truly believe, like, he and our children, they don't see it. Like, they don't even, it's not that they're putting the pile there on purpose. They just don't see it. And then for me, that's all I can see. So it is a heart issue for me. I have to really work on it. I have to really, like, I have to
That
buy.
is yeah, because there are, it's one of those out of sight, out of mind things, and and they have their thing,
Yeah.
like, you know, because I see Casey's desk and her markers and her papers, or just so, or just put just however, and it's back to so I get an uneasy feeling, like it gives me like a physical either pain, or whatever it does to me, those things that drive you crazy. Although, kind of like you're just saying about that makes you crazy, but it doesn't your family. My pile of laundry, it's like a guest star now on Normal Bias podcast. My pile of laundry. It's our third. It's our third member. That does not drive me crazy. That's selective OCU, I call that, and that does not drive me crazy. And I can go to bed, and it's just there. But it absolutely drives my son insane that I don't deal with that, because he washes his laundry, dries his laundry, and then either folds it and puts it away, like all in one, day. you know
Well, and
I don't do that.
if it didn't bother him so much, I would, like, like, one of the things that I've learned too is to release myself from stress of some things. Like, so if it didn't bother him so much, I would say, let that go. Like, choose that system that you have in place now, and quit even feeling like you should do it a different way, and just let that be how you do it. What I always tell people, like, whether we're talking about organization or parenting or behavior or routines, whatever it is, it doesn't matter to me what you choose. There's not one right way to do it.
No,
My
absolutely.
is not your way. all I want as a person, as someone who's like here to cheer you on and coach you a little bit, my job as a coach is to make sure that you've at least made that decision. Like, not making a decision is a decision, right? I want you to
Yes.
look at yourself. I want you to look at your day, look at your habits, look at your routines, and make sure that you have really chosen all those things all the way down the line. Because maybe you have McDonald's every day for lunch and you don't love it, you just have always done it. Well,
Mm-hmm.
stop and look at it. Maybe you go to Subway instead. Maybe you lose 40 pounds real quick, like David, like
Like David, yeah. That was something in that conversation that was, what, like, that you could see it because I need a visual. But he had always been thin. He'd always been active, and then that one time in his life where he just ended up being still and sitting, then he gained the weight. But then he made that one change. Uh,
snowball.
it snowballs, yeah. And then he made the one change to eat Subway, or the decision, and then he lost the weight. And I was like, oh, you just changed one thing.
Yeah, and that's the whole point. Like that.
And it is, yeah.
So, spoiler alert, you guys. I think habits is one of my very favorite things to think about. It's one of my very favorite things to talk about. So, Brenda, I think like your laundry, we'll probably come back to habits again and again. I didn't mean for us to get quite so scientific today and quite so nerdy, but this makes me so happy. If we could pick like one thing to work on with you, I would just want to change one habit. But you get to pick the habit.
Okay, I like that.
So,
I was just thinking of something that is a habit that I wish wasn't a habit, and because it's a time suck. Is as soon as you wake up, I say you, as soon as I wake up, and I mean, I think my children do this too, but I pick up my phone, and then I know, and then I check my email and like who texted me, and then let me pop over to Instagram, and then before I know it, y'all, an hour has gone by, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, that is that is something that I am struggling with, and I need to work on. Like, do not pick up the phone until I've gotten up, shower, whatever I need to do. When most of the days it's usually staying in my pajamas now because of quarantine, but still I need to get up and either get the coffee, take my medicine. I have a medicine that I need to take in the morning time, but yeah, that's definitely something, a habit that I have created, that it's one of those, like a negative habit. Like, I don't like that habit. I don't.
And that
It
hard because think too, you have the stress of like you've lost that time, and like my whole thing is you're not the boss of me. Like I get to pick. Like on Pretty Women, I choose. Like I decide when you get to come into my house and tell me what you need me to do for this job. I decide when you get to text me and tell me whatever. So that's my whole thing. Is like the phone is not the boss of me, and I have some resources for you on that.
Okay, yay.
All have, the whole point is we all have that thing. We all have that thing that we do, and it stresses out that we do it, and then we have the shame that we did it and we feel like we shouldn't have done it. And you see like how much time, like all it would take is a tweak of that one habit of not picking up the phone and starting your day a different way. And even if you started it 10 minutes later or whatever, then you would have that satisfaction, and then that satisfaction would build, and then you'd pick something else to work on, or you could just ride that satisfaction through the day. But it's like, yeah, we all have something. We all have that. I was telling Brenda, we're having kind of a stressful thing right now with a family member, and not in our home. We're all okay. But what I'm seeing, and like my health coachy friends would be like, so what comes back first? The Cokes. Like I'm more likely to skip my lunchtime shake and have like whatever everybody else is eating, which yesterday was grilled cheese and it was amazing. But then I was like, I'm not supposed to be eating this for lunch because I have these rules for myself, right? And so that's when in times of stress, my go-tos are drinking Cokes, and particularly Pepsi, and eating poorly, not watching my money very carefully. So that, like, I have like my bad habits are really bad habits. Like your phone habit's probably not going to hurt you, but my habit will hurt me eventually. So we all have something we got to work on. Everybody. Okay, so are you ready to wrap this one up? Because I think we're going to have to come back to it. This one's too big.
No, we do. Because what I'm about to say, I could just open up a whole other can, but.
Are you going to say it anyway? Dun, dun, dun.
I don't know. Should I? No, I will say back to your desk and families. When I go to organize someone's house, and typically I am there to visit with the mom or the wife, but if there's kids and a husband, I always ask to either have a sit down with everyone, or I like to, go and talk to everyone and find out what bothers you. Are you neat? Are you messy? Does the stuff on Kristi's dresser bother you? Why doesn't it bother you? And then I like to go around and look at their stuff and their space. And so it just tells a lot. And so if you've never asked your family, because moms typically, oh, fine, they're not going to pick it up. Well, I'm going to pick it up. And that, or, however.
We're big,
right. Yeah. So anyway, it's just, it's really sometimes, a few times when I've done that, somebody in the house is like surprised, I didn't know that about you. So when you know what your person is or the things that bother them, then you have something to go start with, and then plus it helps you understand what you're working with or who you're working with, or, why does, this bother Alex and doesn't bother Matthew, or, who always mostly bothers me. I don't know. It just get to know, ask those questions.
Well, and
hey, does this bother you? Because it really bothers me. Do you know how much it bothers me?
And I will say, as someone who's gone through this process with you and our family, specifically, James and I have been working together for years on our storage issues and storage and garage. And it really was so good to hear you talk to him and talk to me, because you're not on anybody's side. You don't have any preconceived notions about what's right and what's wrong. To watch you start that whole big project with gathering information from all four of us, and then using that information to help us make decisions like, well, you're going to do this, but remember, he said that it was important to hang on to this because of this. Do you still want to do that? It was just really I don't even know how many times I've recommended you in the past few years because of how I saw you work so well with us. And you know us, but you worked with us like you knew us and loved us, but also like you were meeting us for the first time. Like you gathered information. You didn't come in with any ideas of how you were going to complete the project or what it was going to look like. You came in and made it work for us. And it was really such a great process. Well, that was a whole different, that took us a whole different direction, but that's it. We do need to talk more about organization because it's important. Mm-hmm. So, okay. So we're going to wrap this one up. I'm going to take a second. I'm going to text James Rubin because he's supposed to be picking Noble up from strength and conditioning because I'm recording.
Yep.
Text him real quick. I'm going to have to edit this out.
Yeah, that's okay.
So this is a habit in our house when I'm also James's assistant. So when it's time and I don't see him on the road where he's supposed to,
he
just came out of the studio. He's like, I know what time it is.
Yeah. But back to, so why I brought that up about, asking your family the stuff, because maybe the whole family needs, it's a, especially in a communal room, like the kitchen or the living room, or, it might be something that the whole family needs to be on board with. Like, we're going to change this, habit or this system of how we're doing it, just because this might be easier. And sometimes when you change it, then you need to go back, and that's okay. You're just figuring it out, but everybody needs to be on board and know what's going on.
You just said something super important, and I think that you're so good to cover this and remind us of it, that it's okay. it's not failing if you start something and it doesn't work. You're failing forward, right? That's what Edie Wadsworth calls it. And I love the idea of making a small change, seeing how it works for you. And then if it doesn't work, going back and tweaking it. Or if it mostly works, like one of the things that we really struggle is a big word during quarantine, considering what was going on in the world. But one of the things as a family that caused a lot of friction with us was our morning routine and what time we started and all of that. So we had to really spend a lot of time talking about it and kind of making concessions. Like we'd give you 10 minutes later here and you 10 minutes earlier here. And we would, like we had to kind of really work that routine to make sure it worked for everybody, because it was every day for a while. It was a source of like headbutting and friction, and it was so uncomfortable.
So yeah, I like this topic.
All
the things.
So we're going to roll right into our next week's episode, because we have a happy for y'all in July that I'm really excited about. This is one of my favorite things from back in the days of mommy vlogs and things. And we're going to bring it back. We're going to make it cool again.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So, okay, Brenda, what Orange You Glad? What are you Orange You Glad about today?
Orange You Glad. I am glad about friends who love me, even though, may not understand my quirkiness or why I do things I do, but they just love me for it anyway.
I love that. I love unconditional love.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Kristi?
So my Orange You Glad today is actually sticky notes. We were talking about this. So we sometimes when we first start our Zoom call, we're still kind of like, maybe we're sitting here and I think Brenda was checking a text or something. And so I was transferring as when I do my quiet time in the morning, so I don't break my flow. If I think of something I need to move on to the day's agenda or my calendar, then I'll write it on I keep a pad of sticky notes on my quiet time tray. I keep a ton of sticky notes on my desk. And when I'm talking with someone, a client or whatever, if we're meeting like this, instead of me looking down and taking notes, I'll just write things on sticky notes and then I'll transfer that to wherever it needs to go. Short story, super long. So this morning, I wrote my sticky note of things that I needed to put on my to-do list. And when Brenda was finishing up what she was working on, I was transferring this to my journal. It's a really long short story. I'm sorry, Brenda. But I came across a note on my Post-it that I just wrote a few hours ago during quiet time, and I have no idea what it means. And
I hope you figured out.
But I told Brenda, so on my sticky notes, a lot of times it'll be something like this says BCBS calendar. I don't know what BCBS is. And I literally just wrote this a few hours ago. But on my grocery list, the problem is that I'll be in there doing something and I'll scribble it on there. And I have a horrible habit of I'll start to write cinnamon, and then I'll be able to tell that the first letter is kind of a C, and I just won't be able to read it. So it's a constant game at my house with the sticky notes. The grocery list is, what did I actually write? Yeah, that's okay. Like that, I should streamline that habit and just write things that make sense. But it makes me happy to see my silly sticky note that I can't throw away now, because that's right. So I figure out what BCBS is, and I'm like, dang it.
Well, if it says calendar, and just are you electronic or are you paper, or both?
Yes, both.
So okay, so then this is what I would do, because I've done that. So I would put it on the calendar, mm-hmm. and maybe have a little piece of washi tape just so it doesn't fall off. But because it was a calendar thing, then put it with the calendar, so when it does pop in your brain, you go right over to the calendar and write it down.
Yeah, that's super smart. Okay, I'm gonna put it right here on my calendar.
And I say that because maybe I've done that before too.
I'm like, okay. So yeah, so that's
but at least you know that it was a calendar item because you wrote that. Yay, Kristi. Maybe.
I don't know. I got nothing. I don't even.
Not a client. And it's not a client's initials. Okay.
Well, yeah. So I don't know what I did. Okay.
I'm glad you're glad for sticky notes though, because that's so your thing. I love it.
So okay. That's a whole. I could just sit and talk to you all day. But
I know, all the time. Me too.
So I have like 15 minutes until I have to break for lunch. Can we stop? Oh, y'all, golly, I'm not going to edit this one. I'm just going to play it with all my crazy. So Brenda, guess what today is? Not today, but guess what this day on our podcast is? We get to debut something right now.
I don't know.
Today we get to add the outro. So last week we added
Oh, that's right.
This is the first episode which ever has our outro.
You guys, we have an intro and an outro. What?
Super excited. So y'all stick around and enjoy.
Yay.
Oh, goodness. Bye, y'all. Have a great day.
Bye, you guys. Thanks for listening.
Or watching or whatever.
Hey, y'all. Are you still watching? Are you still listening? Oh, hey, Mom.
We're so glad that you're still with us. If you want to connect online, we're at www.normalbiaspodcast.com, or you can find us on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. And our very favorite, if we made you a mixtape, we'd put all those songs on our Spotify playlist for you.
All the things.